Aussie.
Hey, there we are, live on a Sunday evening. And who's already in the chat? Megaleech and Alexander. Hello. I can't believe I just wasted half an hour doing nothing. I'm going to use up half an hour before the stream. And I was just playing games on my phone. And then, it's time. And then I remembered, oh, wait, I was going to shoot a little bit of cocktail video. And I could have had it done before the live stream because I had plenty of time, but I friggin' forgot I was going to do it. And so at the last minute. So I'm going to interrupt this stream a little to do some cocktail making. Just very little bits. It's bits that are going to take about 30 seconds. So I just feel like an idiot for doing that, actually. Which reminds me, I don't even have the camera in here. So you're going to have to excuse me for a minute. So anyone comes in and says, where the hell is he? I'm just in the next room. And I got to get my camera. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm fucking making a mess of this. Get back up there, camera. Don't fall off. All right, do that for now. Did anyone come in while I was doing that pissing about? Megaleech, Lee, hello. I put my fairy lights on, I guess, for the backdrop. Untangle, you bastards. I swear to fucking God, the design of these things, it's like they intended them to get tangled and be really shitty. Ugh, look at this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Honestly. And let's show up there. Do this. Right. And I just need the USB that actually connects the lights to the power. Where the fuck is it? It's down here. Plug it into the USB. There we go. Fairy lights. Fairy lights. Oh, okay. Now, I just got to finish setting things up. Okay, this. Audio recorder. Right. Do that. Oh, so who's that? Someone on Facebook. Jamie Masterman. Someone who wants to be banned on Facebook. Cool. Spamming motherfucker. Hey, Robot Man Greg. And yes, Alexander, they've got a USB connector, the fairy lights. Ugh. Now, I've just got to frame up the video camera. Hopefully it won't take long. What have we got? image quality. Yeah, we're on the right thing. Oh, that looks. Ooh, what's that doing? Let me try that. That might be about right. I've been fiddling about doing extra bits. That needs to be just a teeny bit lower. How's that? How's that? That's right. And yeah, okay. No, that's good. That's good. Alrighty, so I got to shoot. Turn some lights on. Ugh, you want power on, you dumb motherfucker. Okay, fuck. Right. Plug in the right thing, you doofus. All right, now we're cooking with gas. We're cooking with gas. Right. So I'm going to do a couple things. I need a couple glasses to shoot 2 different bits of video. Right. Glasses. Up here so you can see me. Hello, Abigail. Oh no, Abigail's another bad pain night. I feel bad for you. Right, so. Righty, roo. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to pour that in there. Ooh, that fills that nicely. Excellent. And I just realized what else I should be doing. Get my tempered glass out, or get my ice out and temper it, in fact. Nice. Right, that. I'm getting ready. Ooh, Abigail, taking some not very effective pain relievers. They're the most annoying kind of pain relievers. They're not the good ones that actually relieve pain. Relieve. Now I realise I probably have to wait a couple of minutes for this temper because I don't want it to crack when I pour the drink on it. So why don't we chat for a couple of minutes? I love it. Like I'm so short. I'm gonna climb up the wall. Lift myself up. No, okay. Let's do this. So, cold weekend in Melbourne, particularly today, which is also probably not good for chronic pain. Cold weather is frequently an exacerbating factor for pain with a lot of people. Oh, god damn. So, did anyone do anything fun this weekend? Most fun I would be out, as I was talking about last night, had an outing with Abigail to Annette's place yesterday. And today I stayed in all day. And in fact, I didn't have a shower till about 5 o'clock today. I had a shower and got dressed at about 5 o'clock. And I was just in my fluffy dressing gown the whole day. And chilling out. I did get to see the Jim Jarmusch film, The Dead Don't Die. Famed art house director Jim Jarmusch did a zombie movie called The Dead Don't Die, and it has an amazing cast. Then he has Jim Jarmusch, I guess, virtually anyone he says, hey, do you want to be in my movie? They say yes. Yeah, it was kind of entertaining, and it had some stuff that I don't want to do any spoilers, but the fact that people kept failing to do basic sort of self-protection against zombies, even though they were in a position to do that, was annoying. I just found it annoying because I am really into zombie stuff. So I can be a bit of a purist and argue. Ooh, I need to take a picture of this. Sorry, I'm half-assing all of this. Gonna clean some space behind the scenes. I did a chicken and potato roast tonight, which was pretty good. All right, I'm just going to clean some mess up behind the scenes. And rinse that. There we go. Whew. Shit. Just knocked my camera. Okay. So the way people like to take these photos is putting the bottles there. So it's XO Cognac. Mirror. With the mirror? It's the cassis. With the mirror. I had a 50-50 chance of pulling out the right bottle. And I pulled out the wrong one. C'est la vie, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to do this weird thing for a bit. Apologies, normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Oh my god. So much faffing about. Alright. Do that. Okay, I'm almost finished faffing about here. Look, you're getting a real close-up view of my funnel. That's what she said. Sorry? Why would you say something like that, honestly? And so I'm going to do a portrait one. Right. That's that. I've taken that little picture. Now I will put some things. Yeah, who gets vertigo easily? Whoa. All right. I'm just putting some stuff back. Oh. Well, hope I didn't give anyone seasickness then. Oh no, Abigail, hiccups with a sore back. That is not good. I remember that. What did I strained a muscle somewhere in my chest or back and then got the hiccups and it was terrible. Oh, no, that's what it was. I remember I got really sick and oh, you want a can? See, Fridge Ninja these days just asks me to get things. That's reasonable, honestly. There you go. Okay. Right. So we do this. Now I'm going to really quickly shoot this video and get it out of the way. This will literally only take a couple of minutes. Okay, let me just double check that framing before I get going. That's pretty good. That's pretty strange. Have you ever seen a jellyfish? That shit's crazy. Hi, Chris. I'm really quickly shooting a little bit of video. Sort of like 2 different 30-second bits for different videos. That's pretty wild. Apologies for any continuity errors because this is being shot on another day. And also showing off the new martini glass I got with lots of etching. And the clarification worked really well. Looks fantastic, that light amber color, which I'm slightly surprised by because sometimes the liqueurs will color it. And I thought this might be purple because the curds in there, which are left behind, they are a sort of muddy purple. And I thought this might be a kind of light purple, but it's this rather nice amber color. So there you have, that is a clarified, very French martini. Oof, so that's one, and I just got to stop and restart things so I have separate files for them. Right. Shizer. Can't you lock that up? Some final tips for using your clear ice. When you're storing it in the freezer, it's a good idea to keep the individual pieces or even just all the pieces in Ziploc bags so they don't frost up. But when you take them out, you need to let them sit for a while before pouring a drink on them. It's called tempering the ice. What that does is make it less likely that the ice will crack. If you take the ice straight out of the freezer and pour an unchilled or even a chilled drink straight onto it, there's a reasonable chance the ice will crack, and that will ruin the clarity. My second tip is use a clear drink to really show off the cocktail ice. For instance, something like a whiskey sour would be a waste, or most tiki drinks, which are honestly quite murky, would be a waste. But say an old fashioned would, or a milk clarified cocktail. Look, I mean, I love that. It just looks fantastic. This big clear bit of ice in there, and somehow I think it makes the drink taste even better. So off you go now. Do your adventures with making clear ice because it's so easy. You could check Uncle Pete's video on it where he shows you how to do it with just a disposable bottle and a beer koozie or stubby holder. Or you could use the insulated double wall coffee cups like I do, and you can experiment with sizes and whatnot. And you don't need a lot of freezer space because a lot of the rather expensive ice molds and or even using the cooler method takes up a lot of freezer space. The individual cups, they don't. So it's easy, it's cheap, and it looks really cool. I hope you found this useful, and I hope to see you again soon. I'll be with some more regular cocktails later, but until I do see you again, cheers. Right, that's it. I'm done. So switch that off. Switch these spotlights on. Now it's raining. I don't know if you can hear the rain. But it's raining. Get this out of the way before I break it. Beautiful, sexy new martini glass. Whew. Okay. Oops. Got to bring this back down. Now, ready to sit and chat. Okay. Oh, yes, it is raining here. It has been raining a lot today. Big temperature drop compared to earlier in the week. There's even a little bit of hail earlier. Just tiny little bits of hail, and there was so much rain it just washed it away, so it didn't even settle on the ground. But yeah, it's been coming in waves. The rain's just been coming in waves all day. There'll be none for a while, and then it'll come down in buckets for a while, and then it'll go away again. Just a little wave of it just now. Hello, Celtic King. So this, look at that fucking sexy ice. Look at that fucking sexy ice. In fact, don't look at it. You can't see it. It's invisible. Yes, in my clarified, very French martini that's only partly French and is definitely not a martini. That is tasty. So it's basically cognac and fruit. I put some fruit liqueurs in there and mixed them up and used pineapple juice to clarify it. Oh, another visitor to the kitchen. What are you after? Oh, she wants to drink. Okay. Drinking. Can't watch a movie without a drink in hand. That's just common sense. Okay, well, give me the glass or the cup, and I will quickly mix a beverage. Do you feel like tequila or vodka or
just some vodka?
All right. Any juice with it or just? Oh, I forgot. Oh God, I don't have any. Yes, no, I do have lemonade. Just need to get ice.
Just some juicy vodka.
Sorry?
Just some juicy vodka.
All right. So put some ice in there. Put the ice back in the freezer.
Actually, make me the rummy thing you made me last time.
A rummy thing, yes. All right.
The lemony one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do this. Yep. Crackly ice. Just get my jiggers so I know what I'm pouring. Because we do responsible service of alcohol in this bar. Boo. Boo. No free pouring. Ah, no, this is a good one. All right. Do. Here you go. And put that back. Snap back. Make it a bit tropical because it's rum. Rum should be tropical. All right, there you go. Little tropical rum beverage for you. All right. That might be business out of the way. Oh, so if you had roast lamb, I had roast chicken. Right. So that might be business out of the way now. And cheers. Oh, fuck, that's good. As I've probably mentioned before, one of the things that clarifying often does is bring fruit flavors forward, which I always find interesting. So that's got pineapple in it and fruit liqueurs. So that just tastes really fruity. Earthgrow, hello. Yeah, it was a bit fresh today, Safa. Cooler than I think they predicted. It's also got cognac in here. Fuck yeah, that's good. Cognac being a type of brandy, a wine brandy. Made in a very specific region of France, the cognac region. Same as you can only really call something champagne if it comes from the Champagne region of France. You get some specialty brandies in France, cognac and armagnac, that come from the cognac and armagnac regions. So they're not necessarily better than brandies from other places, but they can be. This one, I got the XO cognac, the extra old. It's a blend that's 12 to 20 years old, blended, and it's actually really fucking good. And so this is, it's a bit boozy. It's not super boozy. Also, because there's a reasonable volume in here. So I would definitely be drunk after drinking this. So. Oh, that is actually really good. Earthgrey shut the windows and doors for the first time in months. We put the heater on for the first time this season. First time since, the end of last season that the heater was on. As typical this time of year in Melbourne, autumn, we had the air conditioner and the heater on in the same week, only a couple of days apart. Because that's how Melbourne do. That is just how Melbourne do. Wacky Melbourne weather. So, Safa, I have a decent backyard. It's little. It's a nice backyard, but it's little. I don't want a bigger one. Previous house had a fucking huge backyard, and the maintenance was a pain in the ass. What is the weather saying for the next couple of days? He said, looking at the thing. Oh, God, they're saying it feels like 8 out there at the moment. Going to rain all night. Rain tomorrow. Top at 18. I'll believe that when I see it. Slightly less rain on Tuesday and 21. And then it's going to hover around 20 all week. So it's going to be 19 to 21 all week. And reasonably cool overnight. And a lot of rain. A lot of rain for the next week. Not necessarily constant, but it looks like it's going to rain on and off for the next week. It's like, get yourself prepared for winter, Melbourne. Grab your ankles. It's coming in. Just in time for me to have to go back to the fucking office. Commuting in bleak weather. Yay. Oh, sorry. That drink is so good. Every time I have a sip, I'm just going to go, man, that is a good drink. And it's just got that silky texture. It's just the way from the milk clarification that gets out of the drink just changes the viscosity of the drink. You get the mouthfeel, as they like to say. And so, it even feels different as you drink it. It's very good. I'm kind of obsessed about the whole clarification process. Chris, it will be good to only do it 2 or 3 days a week. We'll probably have more discussions about it in online meetings this week. I'll find out what everyone's doing and if everyone is going to go in on the Monday. I mean, I think one way or another, I want to have... If I'm going to be in the office 3 days, I think I want to do them 3 days in a row and then have 4 days in a row at home. But I'll see what the team wants to do, because it's like, it's hilarious. It's so arbitrary. There's no fucking reason for us to go back to the office. Like nothing will be improved. We won't be more productive or whatnot. And it in fact only makes sense to go into the office if my whole team's there. So I've got to find out what the whole team wants to do, because it's very silly. Earthcrow, not fond of winter rain. Nope, I am not fond of winter rain either. You miss the tropical dry season. Tropics is a bit much for me. I've holidayed in the tropics twice for about a month each time, and the heat and humidity are a bit much for me. I was in Darwin right at the end of the dry season, which is probably the best time if you don't like humidity, but it's still the fucking tropics. And yeah, and then I was in Philippines. It was so funny. The house where I stayed most of the time, we did travel around, but the house where I stayed most of the time, they didn't have hot running water. So to have a shower, you had to have it in cold water. And because you had this fucking oppressive humidity, you think I'll do that. But cold is cold. And it's just like, oh my God, the air's being sucked out of me. I'm gonna wash really quick. Okay, get out of the shower. That was way too cold. And seriously, within about 10 seconds of switching off the cold water, the fucking oppressive humidity closes in. And just go, I think I want to turn the cold water on again. Full on. No, Robot One Greg, if you have a cold, you definitely stay at home. So that's the official directive. It's also the polite thing to do. Stay at home if you have a cold, if you have any symptoms. Well, that's nice stuff. Archie Rose was on Landline today. Yeah, well, they're doing great things with local produce, taking it to the world, winning awards, being legends. Archie Rose keeps winning global prizes. Lark in Tasmania keeps winning global prizes. Starwood here in Melbourne wins big prizes. And there are distilleries around Australia that win big prizes in global competitions. Like, they're passion projects. The people, like when they're running a distillery, it's not a 9 to 5 punch in, punch out job. These are people just with this huge passion for what they're doing. So, yeah. Megaleech, see, that's the big thing. What if you say you have a cold? How long can a cold last? Well, to be fair, Mrs. Angry's cold has lasted for 2 weeks. Is extremely persistent. Safa. Yeah, Kirsten works for the Archie Rose distillery in Sydney. She was working for Starwood here in Melbourne and then moved to Sydney for a job with Archie Rose, which is a much bigger distillery and is a very good career move for her. Fuck, I love this drink. Oof. Oh, I love it when I make a drink that I love. That's winning right there. And I like my sexy clear ice too. So yes, I had to do those 2 pieces for 2 different videos. Yes, Chris, a career, what you had before COVID. Because Safa, they didn't put Kirsten on Landline. Boo. I have to find out because I think she's still on. Yeah, it's a holiday. Of course, it's a holiday. She's not at work, so it's a holiday. She's in Western Australia with her family, and not sure how long she's staying over there, but she's been over there all this week. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 weeks, but she's in WA with family for the first time in a long time because of COVID. She had planned to do it twice before, and both times something happened that made West Australia shut its border. So this is her first time in a while seeing family in Perth. Oh, see, I'm sorry. I feel like apologizing because literally every time I drink from that, I can't stop myself. It's just such a good drink. Like this, the drink that I clarified, the very French martini. Yeah, it was pretty good on my rating system. I'd probably give it like a 7.5. I'm not going to make it again. I'm not going to rush to make it again, but I liked it. It was nice. It was very light and fruity and didn't really taste the cognac. But, certainly not a terrible drink. Give it about a 7.5, but I probably won't make it again. But fuck me, this clarified version, 9. So good. Most of my clarified drinks 8 or 9 plus. They're almost always really good. Sometimes they're 7. I don't think I've ever had one. Oh no, there was one. I don't know what I did wrong. It was the first time I tried to clarify with coconut milk, and I feel like I kind of did something wrong because I didn't like it. But I've made heaps of cocktails with coconut milk since then, and they've all been really good. Like my pina colada clarified with coconut milk is fucking legendary. That's a 9.5. This one is 9 plus. It's like I just want to keep drinking this. This is really good. So Safi, you're not currently getting rain in regional Vic? Well, it just stopped 5 minutes ago here. It's been raining on and off all day. But yes. So yeah, that's the difference. Usually, not always, but usually I think the clarified drink is better than the non-clarified one. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's interesting, but it's actually not as good as the original one. They're usually better though. Like I said, this one's jumped from a 7.5 to a 9.5. It's so good. That's delicious. Oh, and just deceptive because I mean it's not really boozy, but it's got alcohol. Like as a precaution, I wouldn't go out for a drive after drinking this. Quite possibly blow under 0.5 after drinking this, but I would not risk driving a car after this. So, Chris, the Formula E electric car race starting in Rome. It's on mute in the background. If only NASCAR had electrics, it's gotten so boring. Oh, an electric car race. That is interesting. Safa, clarified drinks aren't... Well, okay. You mean if someone was selling them in a bar? If someone was selling a clarified like milk punch in a bar, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more expensive than a straight up cocktail because there's labor involved. There's a huge amount of labor. So, but when I make them at home, the only thing I add is milk. It's like I make a cocktail and then add it to milk. So the only additional cost is labor. So I've not really seen a bar doing milk punch or milk clarified cocktails, but it wouldn't surprise me if they charged more simply because it costs them more because there's additional labor involved in doing a milk clarification. But from the ones I have, it's just a drink. It's a drink. I add it to milk, do the filtering, and magic happens. So it's very good. It's just really good. I'm tempted to try because I was planning on doing a thing where I do clarifying the classics, get really well-known cocktails and milk clarify them. And one I was thinking of doing was the Sazerac because it's just really good. The split base Sazerac, the one I made in the live stream on Friday or Saturday night, is just really good. Just got to remember what Sazeracs have I made on the channel. I've only been running the channel for a year, and it is very easy to forget what I've done in that time. Sazerac. So I did a banana rack, a chocolate Sazerac, and a Highland Sazerac. Well, I've done a whole bunch of Sazeracs. But I have not done a milk clarified Sazerac. And considering how much I like the Sazerac not milk clarified, I'm very intrigued as to what it's like milk clarified. Raiders, good evening to you, sir. Chris, Cars and Race can go one lap attack mode. Pretty dope. Milk's incredible. I like to speculate, like, how did someone find out you could do that with drink? Because and what I suspect happened is, like, it's some tavern in the 1600s, because we have documented recipes from the early 1700s. So if people were doing recipes and writing them down and keeping them in books in the early 1700s, to me that means people had been making milk punches for a long time. So probably at least since the 1600s. And what I think happened is, because they had pretty dodgy grog, right? They were often trying to disguise how rough it was. And they would make these punches with rum or brandy. And, like, they might add black tea, they might add herbs, cloves, cinnamon, whatever, some fruit juices, maybe. Basically making a big punch, trying to disguise the fact that the booze they're putting in it is actually pretty rough. And I'm just imagining someone with, like, a big, they've got this big punch bowl in the kitchen where they're mixing it up, and someone will pass it and accidentally spilled milk, like they dropped spilled milk into the punch, which, because it had acidic content in it, the milk instantly curdled in the punch and made it look like shit. And the person making the punch is, what the fuck have you done, you idiot? Shit, I've got to try and strain this fucking curdled milk out of here now. And they strain it through a cheesecloth, and what comes out the other end is much clearer and actually tastes much better. And they're like, the fuck? What did that? Was it? And they say it's left behind the milk curds, and, like, taste the milk curds. Yeah, that tastes like booze. And, like, well, what happens if I run it through? And they eventually, and I feel like with experimentation, they worked out, oh yes, if I deliberately add it to milk and then filter it, I get this much smoother drink. So I can make this punch that's rough as guts and then clarify it with milk. It's, of course, impossible to know how someone came up with it, but I reckon it was probably an accident. That's my hypothesis, is it was originally an accident. So if you're saying vodka's rough, a lot of vodka is rough, Safa. Depending on your tastes, some vodka is quite smooth drinking. I don't drink a lot of vodka, like drink, but I've still got little sample bottles of Crystal Head vodka up there. Little bottles about this big, little skulls. And Crystal Head is a quite smooth drinking vodka. So, but there is a huge spectrum of vodka, and the cheaper it is, the rougher it's going to be. And I think all the big brands shit, like Smirnoff and what are the other big brands you see? God, my brain just went totally blank. But I just think the really widely circulated brands of vodka are shit. But there are a lot of good vodkas, and, like I say, what's good is going to depend on your tastes. But there are a lot of quite smooth drinking vodkas out there. And yeah, Abigail's a vodka drinker. There's good vodka. Good vodka is amazing. Bad vodka is the worst. And yeah, bad vodka is pretty fucking bad, quite honestly. So yeah, but it's down to your tastes. Abigail, you think Absolute's good and Smirnoff's okay in a pinch? See, I have to admit, I'd blithely just go, and I'd sort of throw Smirnoff and Absolute under the bus with fucking the other things. Oh yeah, you got that Archie Rose vodka from Kirsten. You know what I want to try? I want to try a good potato vodka, because there's a stereotype that vodka is potato based, but it's not. I think it's like more than 90% of vodka in the world is actually grain based. It's a grain spirit. And from what I've read, potato based vodkas, they have I think it's a really unappealing word to say, but people often say they're a bit more oily. They're slightly more viscous. They have a different mouthfeel, and they can be smoother, kind of like the clarified cocktails with the change in viscosity and mouthfeel. But yeah, I read about potato vodkas recently, and I thought, I'd like to try a good quality potato vodka at some point. So yeah, but yeah, it's almost like, anything. There's good and bad, but bad vodka is spectacularly bad, and good vodka is quite good. I'm gonna have a non-alcoholic beverage, just to have some lemonade, because it still works. My ice is still invisible in there. Well, I mean, what you can see is because it's clearer where the ice is. But much like I'll never get tired of how cool milk punches are, I don't think I'll ever get tired of how cool clear ice is either. Two fun things to play with. And yes, so I've got, now I shot that a little bit before, I've got to do some editing, and I have my video tutorial on how to make clear ice using a double-walled coffee cup as the mold. So Abigail, vodka from the freezer goes a bit goopy but doesn't freeze. Makes for a great drink too. Oh yeah, gin as well. Actually, making a martini with either gin or vodka. But I think most people know what I think if you make a martini with just vodka. But a martini made with gin or vodka straight from the freezer, so you don't have to ice it, is fucking awesome. Or you can actually pre-make the martini and keep it in a bottle in the freezer, and so long as it's dry, so long as there's not too much vermouth in it, it won't freeze. But you might get little ice crystals in it, which I think are pretty cool. But yeah, make a batch martini and keep it in the freezer, and just pour icy cold martini into your martini glass when you want it. Chris, like looking into an empty glass? It's pretty fucking cool, honestly. Actually, just that lemonade's a nice change of pace. It's a bit of a palate cleanser after the richness of that clarified cocktail. Very light with a zesty lemon flavor. It's a tiny bit left in here. Just gonna top up the glass. I think it'd be a good idea if I drink some non-alcoholic stuff, because we're still in the first half of the show. Although I think when I finish that, I still have a little bit of my bottled old-fashioned Antica Fashionista from Bar Americano, my favorite bar. And then probably the last bit, I bought that. Wow, actually, it's probably months ago. That's probably lasted me months, because there was about 8 drinks in it. So yummy. It's their house blend. I think it's made with a rye whiskey and their own bitters and spices. But I'm quite a fan of it. So how did I wake up today? Fine, man. Fine. Because yeah, I did have a couple of drinks last night. Not that many though. Not as many as Friday night. And I woke up fine on Saturday. Although it's really funny just being a little bit off from drinking the night before, because I know there's people who drink every night, and even if you don't get shit-faced, if you drink every night, you're going to feel it the next day. So I was like, early this morning, feeling just a little bit off, like not 100%, just thinking, wow, I think how do binge drinkers do it? Yeah, because I think they start drinking again when they wake up not feeling good, which is, yeah. So I try to take, God, at least like half the week off, at least like three or 4 nights a week not drinking would be preferable. Or at least if I'm going to have a drink during a stream, just a drink, which I don't think you really feel the next day. I think you have to have like about, because here's the other thing, when I say a drink, the average cocktail, as Abigail was mentioning, she thinks my cocktails are very strong. A decent cocktail is probably 3 standard drinks. So, that's what puts you at the legal limit or over the legal limit. From not all cocktails are that strong, but I think a decent one is. So if you have, definitely say 3 cocktails, you are pretty fucking drunk. If you have 3 cocktails in 1 or 2 hours, you're drunk. So like on Friday night, what was that? That was for a Friday night, it was a comparatively short stream. I think it was only 4 hours on Friday night, rather than we really regularly do 6 hours on a Friday night. But in 4 hours, I had like 5 cocktails. So I was pretty drunk at the end of that. And I think last night I had about 3 cocktails. Did I? I don't even remember. I don't remember what I made. It was funny editing the stuff from Friday, the video I shot, because I put it on the computer and it's like, Jesus, I don't even fucking remember what I made. All I remember is I changed my mind. I remember what the original idea was, and then I looked at it and decided, nah, I don't want to do that. I did something else, and I couldn't remember what it was. I had to play the video. Go, oh, it was the very French martini. Okay, cool. But I'd completely forgotten what I did. So how many standard drinks was the mango cocktail we had? I reckon that was between 2 and 3 standard drinks. Wasn't too strong, but it wasn't completely shy either. So my guess would be that was between 2 and 3 standard drinks. So yeah, that one cocktail was like 2 or 3 middies of beer. So you got to be careful. Yeah, like the Sazerac I made on Saturday night, which I really liked, was probably 4 standard drinks, like a single cocktail, because I made it a bit strong. If you made it strictly to spec, it would be closer to 3 standard drinks, but I made it a little strong, so it was probably 4 standard drinks. So that's sort of that. Shieldsy, you giving up drinking? Okay, I'll pick up the slack, mate, because I'm not giving up. Is it? I drink way less now than I did for the first couple months of lockdown, the lockdown live streams. After a couple, I don't even remember when I sort of stopped and thought about it, but I went, I'm drinking too much in those streams. I need to cut right back, and on some streams not drink at all, because I was definitely for at least I don't remember when I cut back, but for at least the first month or 2, I was drinking too much in the live streams, and so I made a very conscious effort to cut right back. So it's like, so I drink the non-alcoholic drinks, like particularly if it's not Friday night, I have the big non-alcoholic drink first, like for the first hour, and then I might have a drinky or 2 for the second hour. Whereas, yeah, the first month or 2 of the live streams, I was fucking drinking the whole stream. So Raiders, very roughly 30 mils of a basic spirit is a standard drink. It's roughly the same as a middy of beer and glass of wine, properly measured glass of wine. If someone who's a wine drinker has a big wine thing and goes glug 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 and like fills up the wine, that's not a drink of wine. That's like 3 drinks of wine. That's why people who sit at home drinking a bottle of wine, they're getting shit faced. Yeah, Yeah, and there's a lot of variance with spirits. Like that's 30 mils, a basic spirit that's 40% alcohol. When I made the Sazerac, 2 of the 3 alcohols I put in it actually 50% alcohol. So and that I was a little bit generous with the pours. So I was like, I think if I'd followed the recipe strictly, that would have been 3 standard drinks in that one cocktail. But because I was a bit generous, it was probably 4 standard drinks. So if your stepdad's like that with red wine, lots of people, wine drinkers fool themselves, and they often do so much drinking that they don't acknowledge. I rate this guideline from the drink driving course from 20 years ago. Fair enough. And I believe that's correct. It's like 1 shot of spirit is 1 middy of beer is 1 glass of wine. So, in fact, look it up. Standard drink, Australia. How much is a standard drink? The Alcohol and Drug Federation. Spirit, yep, 30 mils, 100 mils of wine. So a glass of wine is 100 mils. Middy of cider, middy of beer. Oh yes, 100 mils of champagne. So yeah, very, very, very roughly, 30 mils of spirits is like a glass of wine, a middy of beer. There's a huge amount of variance, but it's roughly that. So yes, it's something to be conscious of. I go to like when I go out for dinner with Mrs. Angry, if we're at a place that has cocktails, particularly if it's like a new place, order a cocktail or 2 from them, and it's like, well, I'm going to go for a walk to the loo, see how even the floorboards in this place is. It's kind of, you can tell how much booze they put in their cocktails by how hard it is to walk after having a couple. And one of our favorite places that unfortunately closed down because of COVID, they were not shy with their cocktails. Like 2 or 3 of their cocktails and you're well gone. Oh, another useless fact, right? Is 9 liters of beer in a slab. That's a lot of beer. Yeah, so like a can of beer is about a standard drink. If it's an average strength beer, a can of beer is about a standard drink. So these are important things to be aware of. The other thing, I know because I interact with a lot of the other YouTubers who have cocktail channels, and I think they're like drinking most nights. I was like, oh, geez, gang, I worry that you're drinking a bit much here. It's it's a very easy thing to fall into. So I try to stay conscious of it. Because having drinks is a bit seductive. Feeling shit the next day is not seductive, but it's easy to forget that as well. So it's kind of funny. Every now and then, because recycling's every second week, and every now and then, in a 2-week period, I might empty a bunch of bottles, and these will be bottles I've had for months, or a year or more, and they're finally finished. And by weird chance, sometimes in a 2-week period, I might finish 6 or more bottles. And so they all go to recycling. Oh God, if anyone saw the recycling and saw, half a dozen or more spirit and liqueur bottles. They go, Jesus, what a pisshead. Because when you put stuff in the bin, people always think like you drank it that week. I do remember block of flats I lived in a while back. One of the neighbors was putting like 2 slabs of beer into the recycling every week. They're like really serious beer drinkers. Yes, Abigail, our brains run on chemistry, and there are substances that affect the balance of the chemistry in ways that we find pleasurable. Yes. So do I have purple glass bin? No. We have a green bin, a rubbish bin, and a recycling bin. They're supposedly going to do the 4th bin to separate the paper and the glass recycling this year, but we don't have it yet. So we got the one bin that the paper and metal and glass all go in. Raiders used to be easy when there were only a few breweries in Australia. Yeah, microbreweries, you don't know how many standard drinks you have. You have to pay attention to what the ABV is. Because it can sneak up on you. And particularly all these fruity beers they have now. I think if you're a regular beer drinker, they probably don't taste as much like alcohol. And they are. And in fact, some of them are higher alcohol than standard beers. So that 9LE was a beer measurement for beer volume, but most companies have moved to hectoliters. Yep, I'm sure Kirsten would have a whole bunch of facts for us if she's here. I'm going to get this old-fashioned. Last of the Antica Fashionista. Decide if I want to keep these bottles. I've got a few bottles from Bar Americano. These smoked glass. Don't know that I have any use for them. Kind of nice bottles, though. Have to think about if I want to keep them. Ooh, yeah, boy. Oops, I think it's got some herbs in the bottom of that. That's there's floaties in it. I think it's like herbs because there's a lot of herbs in there. Man, that's such rich. Fucking fruit fly. Fuck off. No, it's coming back. It's annoying the shit out of me. Go away, you little fucker. Don't know if I got it. Can't see it anymore, though. The concussion might have got it. Well, yeah, I don't have to wait for that to cool down because it's been in the fridge. Nope. Oh. Whew. That's a punchy drink. Very sort of spicy in a herbal way. Oof, because rye whiskey, which I think this is based on, is a bit spicier than your average whiskies. And this has also got their homemade or bar-made bitters in it as well, which I think is quite a sharp thing. So the contrast between this and the other drinks I had is very noticeable. Ooh. That's warming. As you say, Safa, tonight, cooler night, good whiskey drinking night. Oh, that one warms you up, that's for sure. For sure and certain, that one will warm you up. Oh, shit, yeah, Raiders. Cooper's has a sparkling ale of 5.8%. That's much higher than the Carlton stuff. Yes. 5.8% is slightly high for beer. There are, of course, stronger ones, but yeah, you get a lot that's between 3 and 4%. So 5.8% is slightly strong. It's the same with ciders, though. Most ciders are 4 or 5%, but every now and you get one that's like 7.5%, 8%. And you've got to know that when you're drinking it because you'll get more drunk than you think. Which is, I mean, also the thing with spirits. I told the story a while ago when I was in the city at night. I made a stop at this. There's like one tiki bar that I know of in Melbourne. And it was pretty busy, but I was able to get a table. And I'm going to have one drink. And I looked and go, oh, they have a zombie. I'm going to get the zombie. And the zombie was twice as much as there are the drinks, because a zombie is usually at least 4 different types of rum. And yeah, it just depends if they do half a shot or a shot of rum. These guys were doing a shot because I had close to sobered up from the other places I'd been. And I had this zombie sort of sipping away for a while and then went home. And I got progressively more drunk over the next hour as that worked through my system. Fucking fruit fly. Fucker. Got the fucker. Yeah. Yeah, finally. Got the fucking fruit fly. It's really annoying, the way they just hover around. Very fucking annoying. So I got it. It's gone. You're welcome. You're in safe hands with me. The fruit fly, it wasn't in safe hands. Deadly hands. Deadly hands to fruit flies. Okay, I've acclimated to this now. It was such a dramatic change from what I'd been drinking previously, namely lemonade. The first sip of that was like, ooh. But I've acclimated to it. Now it's just yum each time. Big Bad Ads, they banned full-strength alcohol at sporting events in Queensland because you're not responsible enough. Yeah. Well, there's all the jokes about people trying to sneak alcohol into sporting things, because you are allowed to take food into sporting things. The one I thought was funniest of people who got syringes and like take oranges into like a football match, and they get a syringe filled with vodka and inject the vodka into the syringe. So it looks really innocent. It's just an orange. It's not peeled. There's nothing, because of course, the needle is not even visible where it's gone in. So it's like, that can't be dodgy, can it? I've just got oranges. And then they cut up open, and that's, it's nature's screwdriver, the vodka and orange. That just reeks of desperation to me, actually, smuggling alcohol into events. But anyway, a friend, Emma, Mistress M, used to do all the videos with. One of her jobs over the years had been security at venues and at events and whatnot. And she had a really large collection of hip flasks, because they were just confiscated from people before they went in the venue. Like, they just she said, you get an eye, you tend to be able to tell. It's usually someone young who will try to smuggle a hip flask in. And so she ended up with this huge collection of hip flasks that had been confiscated from people who wanted to go into the venues. Because we go, just the hip flask. It's like, either you hand over the hip flask or you're not getting in. And most times people wanted to go in, so they'd take the hip flask, and then they'd kind of forget to ask for it back. So she ended up with this big collection of hip flasks. Offered me some, and was like, I never carry a hip flask. I don't fucking carry booze with me when I go places. You can tell I'm not shy about drinking, but the idea of carrying booze with me around places, I find weird. See, now I make cocktails. I could probably give me some. Oh yeah, you could put a couple of cocktails into a hip flask. That sounds like a kind of good idea. But God, that's good. As a general rule, I don't feel compelled to carry booze with me wherever I go. Crazy, I know, but it's remarkable how often I can cope without booze. I used to always do when we had these YouTube meetups, and I'd do something innocent like, okay, here's me saying I don't use hip flasks, but on a lot of these things, I'd have thing like a Gatorade bottle, one of those pop top Gatorade bottles, and I'd tip the Gatorade out, and I'd just make a drink that was the same color as Gatorade. It's red or green or blue or something, and it's it's a cocktail. and it's a cocktail with the soda usually. And I just said, yeah, I'm just having my Gatorade because I can't tolerate being around you fucking people unless I've got booze. But I haven't done that in ages. So yeah, it's a thing. Next week's cocktail week in Melbourne. And I'm probably not going to go out anywhere. There are all these places doing special events and whatnot. And I'm probably not going to go out. Although Sunday, the closing party is at the Starwood Distillery, which is not that far away from where I live. That's kind of tempting because they're having special food as well as drinks. Oh shit, Raiders. Grand Ridge from Gippsland do a beer called Super Shine at 11%. Yeah, see, that's getting dangerous. That's double high strength beer. That's getting actually dangerous. Yeah, you got to be very conscious if you're drinking something that strong. I think I've had ciders that strong too. Again, most ciders are like 4 or 5%. But it's not that uncommon to get one that's 7 or 8. And yeah, they definitely exist over 10%, but they're rare. But yeah, you've got to be careful if you're getting into silly alcohol strength with beer or cider. You've got to be conscious of how strong they are, or it'll just fucking sneak up on you. But it's the same thing with overproof spirits. Like you might be go, okay, I know how many standard drinks I can have, and I'll be fine. But if you're getting mixed drinks and the spirit's overproof, you got to be conscious of that because it's like some of the overproof things. Some of them are only like they go from 40 to 50%, and I mean that's still 25% stronger. You got to be conscious of that. But some of them are 60% and up, so they're actually 50% stronger or more than the thing. So if you go, oh, I'm just going to have 2, but in reality, you're like having 4, it's like, you need to know that. Oh, that's what I like about cocktails. They cover so many tastes. Like, yeah, the clarified cocktail I had before was light and fruity, and this one it's just like dark and spicy and warm and completely different. It's like they're both cocktails and they're completely different. Right? You think the sporting event thing's pathetic? Oh yeah, no, they charge a stupid amount for absolutely shit beer. Oh yeah. No, the members definitely get better treatment than the general public. No two ways about it. The general public are absolutely screwed over at the sporting events. No question at all. So yeah, it's very silly. But yeah, I almost never go to, and I don't drink beer, so it's not going to impact me. But I almost never go to those sporting events. The only reason I'd go is because I'm with someone who wants to go. I'm never going to sit there and go, I want to see a football game or I want to go to this sporting thing. It's just not me. But if I'm sort of with someone who wants to see one, then I might go with them. But I haven't done that for years. Last time was, God, bordering on 10 years ago. It was like 8 or 10 years ago. Mrs. Angry's brother from England was visiting, and he heard all about the football in Melbourne, and I said, "Oh yeah, we should definitely go. There's a game at the MCG. You need to go and experience an AFL game at the MCG because it's an experience." And he agreed. Like, didn't know anything about the game, didn't give a shit about the teams, but just the experience of being in the big crowd and the game being dynamic was pretty good. Yes, Raiders. That's why pubs around sporting grounds do so well. That's also why there's so many pubs around sporting grounds. Yes, Abigail, we've got to do the sports ball. Which team will sports the hardest? Because they do their best sportsing, but only one can sports the best. And when their sportsing is determined to be the best, they are the sports ball winner. Tell you what I might get again now that I have finished this notably more expensive bottled old fashioned from the old Bar Americano. I might get Starwood's bottled new old fashioned because that's really good. It's not as good as this, but it's a lot cheaper than this. And it's very good. Like it won an award, best bottled vodka. Sorry, not best bottled vodka, best bottled cocktail at a global competition. I suspect this, because this is not generally available, this was not entered. This is not sold at retail. It's only sold at the bar or their website. I go through their website during lockdown. Oh no, actually, I bought that one from the bar. I did buy some from them during lockdown, but I actually bought that from the bar when it was open again. But the Starwood bottled old fashioned, it's like $50, and it's the equivalent of like 8 drinks. And considering, an old fashioned at a bar is going to cost you somewhere in the region of $15 to $20, depending on the bar. And this is a good old fashioned to get, and it depends how generous you are with the pour, but to get 6 to 8 of them for $50 is a pretty fucking good deal. So Abigail, when you were a teenager, you were in St. John's Ambulance Cadets. Got stationed at the MCG for the semi-finals. Big crowd. Guess it was fun, but the game was boring as shot. Yeah, well, see, that's why I almost never go, because I don't have any interest in the teams. But it's kind of fun to take someone to one who's never seen one before, so they get to experience the spectacle. Raiders, prior to COVID, you were taking your nieces to netball at High Sense. Nice. Last sport you've watched live. Yeah, like it's I think it's in the region of at least 8 years since I went to a sporting event, because it's just not my thing, really. Interesting, the little bits that were in the bottom of the bottle. I suppose that's the herbs and stuff that we used to flavour it. Oh, Safa, Aussie Rules is absolutely a religion for people in Victoria. Again, one of the things I really liked about working from home, and I fucking loved everything about working from home, but one of the things I liked was not having to spend winter being around hearing conversations of people obsessing over sports ball, because I find it fucking tiresome. Like, it's fine, it's your thing, it's cool. You do you. Do your thing. Do your thing. But actually having to hear all the conversations was, oh my God. And not having to hear sports conversations all winter was fucking awesome. Also, because it wasn't really on last year. It's full on this year. Yes, Abigail, if you want to win a sports, you just have to sports harder than anyone else who's sportsing at the same time. And the harder sportsing will lead you to triumph in the sports. This is probably, okay, the three big things about not being in the office was not getting a cold all winter, not having to commute, and not having to hear sports talk. That's fucking great. And then there are just things that are good about being at home, because I have a happy home life. So, I like seeing everyone at home. I can get cuddles. I can get smooches. I'm gonna have to wean myself off that. If I go back into the office, I can't randomly grab a coworker for a kiss and a cuddle like I do with Mrs. Angry during the day. And I've become very used to that. So, I don't want to end up in front of HR like, why did you randomly grab a coworker and kiss and cuddle them? I go, well, because I've been doing it for the last year, okay? It's just been a thing. It's just been a thing I do. So I might have some embarrassing questions to answer when I go back into the office. I mean, like I was pissing about, we were having this team meeting and talking about the going back to the office and when we're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And I just went, but I can wear pajamas in the office now, right? Because that's all I've been wearing all year. I've not been having a shower until lunchtime. So I've just been shambling out of bed in my slipper and dressing gown and just sitting down and doing stuff. So if I can't wear my pajamas to work, I'm not going to be happy. Raiders, you think you can cuddle co-workers for a certain length of time? I don't think so. I don't think you can do it at all, honestly. Abigail, you think being a programmer would make you insulated from sports ball talk, but even, IT people has come to it. Absolutely. No, it crosses boundaries. The sports ball shit crosses boundaries. But particularly in Melbourne, man, people are fucking obsessive about the footy in Melbourne. And sometimes they'll take it as an affront when they go, who do you barrack for? And I go, nobody. Don't know, don't care. And they take it really personally. Earthquake, just threw your trackie top on. Need fluffies for your feet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Raiders, no pants Friday, every day. Fucking, and it's a running joke in my team because I accidentally turned my camera on one morning when we were having a morning meeting. And I was just there in my dressing gown and no one else had their cameras on. And the way Microsoft Teams work, if only one person has a camera on, they end up full screen on everyone else's screen. And so everyone else got this full screen. Also, my hair was probably everywhere. So everyone else got this full screen of me in my fluffy dressing gown and hair. And I just went, great. Switched off the camera. Oh, nice. Abigail, your computer chair has a built-in heater and massager. Nice. It's like I'm going to joke about it when I go back to the office and people go, wait, so when I was talking to you in that meeting, were you in your pajamas? I go, maybe. Because I think it weirds people out a bit if they imagine that you are just in your pajamas when you're talking to them. We have these morning meetings, which are actually quite productive, but because people can't see me, I'm always just sitting there on my phone. And if no one's talking to me, I'm going, I'm just keeping an ear out for someone mentioning my name. And I'm just going, you can't do that if you're in an actual meeting room with people. You can't sit there going, yeah, tell me if you want to talk to me. It's regarded as rude. It's regarded as rude. And I think that's rude, quite honestly. So, and by the way, Abigail, we're talking about technical problems. This just made me think of it. I did a bit of testing. I think the problem is browser specific. I think it's just Chrome that's doing it. I was explaining to Abigail I'm having this problem with my computer when I'm scrolling through social media, and this happens on... Oh, now I just thought of something. Does it happen on YouTube as well? Because I'm logged into different things on different browsers, different accounts, but definitely on Chrome, it fucks up on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Like when I'm scrolling stuff, it does this weird random fucking reload thing. And if there were videos in my feed on Facebook or Twitter, it suddenly goes, oh, well, that's broken now. Abigail, do I have extensions installed in Chrome? When I was experimenting today, I looked into all the guts of Chrome and I got it to do its safety checks and security checks. And it said, you're up to date and we don't see any problems. But I don't really install extensions. And again, the weird thing is, it's only happened with the new computer. I've literally never had it before. But I'm not 100% sure yet, but I got a very, very strong indication today the problem was browser specific and it was about Chrome. So I'll double check on extensions and maybe disable any extensions that are on there. But it never happened before the new computer. But it's interesting that I got a pretty strong indication today that it is a browser-specific problem. I need to play a bit more with Edge, but I played with Firefox, and I didn't see the problem on Firefox. And I played a bit on Microsoft Edge and didn't see the problem. But I didn't do much on Microsoft Edge. So I might try and remember to do more testing on Microsoft Edge tomorrow. See what happens. But the early indications were it might be Chrome specific. And it's on a different computer. It's not on this computer. So I can't really check anything on this computer. I am currently using Chrome on this computer too. So lappy toppy. Shannon, what's happening on my browser? I'm getting this weird problem when I scroll through social media like Facebook and Twitter, and I'll do it on YouTube as well. It'll like randomly reload, and like if there were videos in my feed, that'll be like, oh, well, that's broken. We can't play that now. I've never had it before. It's only happened with a new computer. And I did a bit of exploring today, and it looks like it might be Chrome specific, because I did a lot of playing on Firefox and didn't see the problem. I didn't do a lot of playing on Microsoft Edge, so I'm not sure. But we'll see. Raiders, install a previous version of Chrome as a test. Yeah, but how would I do that? Because if I go to install Chrome, it's going to just be the new version. And I don't know what to do. Oh, yeah, I should. The leftovers, I probably should put that all in a Tupperware thing. Mrs. Angry's just been in the next room talking to her family in the UK, and the call's ended, and going to get the leftovers from the roast I made today. Shannon, brand new computer. It's the new build Abigail did for me, which is actually probably, I don't know, a month or two ago now. So it was like new video card. And Abigail remembers all the stuff she installed, I'm sure. I'm not the technical person. I didn't remember any of the technical details. But at some point, I might do take my machine over to Abigail's for testing, which would also... Okay, Shannon. Oh, yeah, okay. I haven't done Angry Bunch for a while. You have anyone who wants to come into Angry Bunch. Shannon wants to come in and ask some questions. On we come, Grasshopper. But also anyone who wants to join. That's the link. That's the link for anyone who wants to join. But by all means, come on and have a technical talk, Grasshopper. Exactly. That's the plan, Abigail. Bring the PC over to your place, do a bit of diagnosing, and then go to the Elysian whiskey bar. And speaking of show me the way to the next whiskey bar, it's Grasshopper.
G'day, mate. How you going?
Good. How you doing?
I can't complain. Nobody would listen. Okay,
Yep.
so on the PC that Abigail built you,
Yes.
you load up like Facebook or whatever with Chrome, I'm assuming it is?
Yeah, this is Chrome that's having the problem. Yeah.
And as you're scrolling with your mouse wheel, every now and again it reloads?
Yeah. And
Okay,
and like video, if there was a video in the feed, it will very often just go, oh, that's broken. I can't play that now. And obviously, if I reload, it'll work. But, and also when I'm watching, I think it might be doing it on, I need to test Microsoft Edge because I use it as well. And it might be doing it on Microsoft Edge as well. But I didn't test it much today. Heine's trying to connect, but I think his internet's... Oh, no, there he is. There he is. How you doing,
Hey,
Heine?
Heine, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
I
can, mate.
now.
Yeah, about a 3-second delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a bit of a delay there.
So, I'm going to be rude and eat food. Maybe I should pop out for 5 minutes while I finish my food, or
Or just mute while you're eating.
That's up to you,
Oh,
man.
yeah, that's a good idea.
And Earth's saying hello as well. Hey, man,
G'day,
how's it
Earth.
going?
So, Grasshopper,
right.
there you go. There's your
Right.
microphone, mate.
Okay, so with the issues that you're experiencing there, Angry, it sounds like a caching problem with your browser.
Could be.
If your cache is full and it's trying to download something more into the cache and it can't because the cache is full, it'll reload as opposed to saving into the cache.
Oh, so maybe I should just clear the cache.
Clear the cache, see if that helps. And there's also a command that I refer to as the MacGyver command on most PCs out there. And it's it's inbuilt into all Windows, and it's called the System File Checker.
Yes.
And it is amazing how many issues it can resolve. You just need to open up what's known as an elevated command prompt. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No.
Okay. I've got your email address. I'll send you an email with the steps.
Excellent, man. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you. Yeah, it might just be the cache thing as well. Yeah, because I didn't clear the cache. And when I looked at the Chrome help thing, I said it might be that, maybe clear the cache. And I was looking at a few other things, but I didn't do that. But yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Yep. No, browser problems are fairly bloody common in what I deal with, and sometimes it can be infuriating, and sometimes it can be really simple.
Yeah, it's weird because I've never seen this one before, but it's doing it to him lately. And again, it's not crippling; it's just annoying. So yeah. That's cool.
That's all right. That's all right. And how's life been treating you otherwise, Angry?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Like I was saying earlier, I just spent most of today lounging around. I went and had a shower at about 5 o'clock and got dressed. Was just wearing my fluffy dressing gown the rest of the day. So,
Pixar, it didn't happen. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, I've worn it on streams before. At one point, I was thinking I'm going to wear it on this. I'm not going to have a shower. I'm just going to wear my dressing gown on the stream. And I thought, oh wait, I've got to shoot. So this one, I'm wearing my cocktail making costume because I remembered I had to shoot a little bit of video. So yeah. Oh no. Abigail, I'm still going over to your place and drinking.
Oh man, it turns out that it's going to be feckin' cold down here tonight. What the bloody hell?
Yeah.
I don't know what tempers are. I'll learn to speak one of these days, and it will be glorious. What temp is it down in Melbourne at the moment?
At the moment, it's a bit cool. I don't think it even reached 15 today. What is it at the moment? They're saying the Bureau is saying it's 11 and feels like 9, and I believe that. It was 30 a couple of days ago.
13 here.
Yeah. So this is that time of the year where we've had the air conditioner and the heater on in the same week. It's just
and it says Catherine Field is 12 but feels like 8, and I believe that.
Right, there you go. There you go. Sorry, that just sounded like you had just suddenly latched onto a pedo chat group. Oh, Catherine Field. Look, she's 12, but she feels 8. Okay, dude. What the fuck? What are you doing there? Sorry.
Oh man, quick funny one. 2 years ago, when I was having my 3 years ago now, when I was having my birthday LAN, a friend of mine from the States was over for the LAN, and the first time that he'd ever met my little black and white puppy Jack. And Jack had come out to say hello, and he was up on my lap, and I was giving Jack a bit of a scratch on the bum. And I'm like, oh, you've got such a cute little bum. Oh, you love little scratches on your bum, don't you? Yeah, you love your little cute little bum. And Alex turns to her and goes, yeah, sure, it's all fine and dandy when you say it to a puppy dog, but you say that at one kindergarten.
Yeah.
My friends.
Yeah. So Abigail, look, okay. In terms of bribing you with booze, I'll probably bring, because I need to double check, but I'm sure you like coffee, don't you, Abigail? Because I've got a mocha coffee cocktail in my fridge that I was going to give to Aidsy, but then it seems like I'm never going to see him, so I might as well bribe you to do some tech work on my computer with it.
So what is happening with Aidsy anyway? We haven't seen him for a little bit.
Oh, Abigail can't stand coffee. I didn't know that. Okay, it's still I talked to him a couple of days ago. He isn't well, even by Aidsy standards. He's not doing very well at the moment. So he's trying to sort out a few things, and there was medical things going on as well. He was hoping to feel up to hanging out with us again sometime soonish. But he didn't really want to come and hang out on streams if he was feeling like shit. So he hasn't been the best for the last couple of weeks. So, but he's alive and soldiering on.
Well, I hope that he feels better soon, for whatever that's worth, I guess.
Yeah. So and because again, with AG, it's a spectrum of things. It's not one thing he's hoping to feel better for. It's like, there's the joints and the chronic pain and the falling over, and he broke his teeth again because he's got very bad dexterity skills at the moment. So he's dropped his false teeth and broken them, and it's and also the fact he can't sleep as well. He's got cognitive problems as well. So that rarely shows when he comes on a stream. That rarely shows, but he is having problems.
The medical marvel that is AIDS.
Yeah. So
that is no good at all. No good at all.
So Abigail doesn't like coffee, so it looks like I am bribing her to do some technical work with a visit to the whiskey bar. And
Stella saying it's 20 in their house, so they just ordered some Ugg boots.
Uggies sound good.
Grasshopper dude, you're costing me a visit and a possible bottle of grog. Abigail, even if I was able to fix Angry's computer completely remotely, I don't think that there would be a force of the verse to stop him from rocking up at your front doorstep with a bottle of grog and saying, let's get pissed.
Yeah. But no, there's this really interesting looking whiskey bar literally across the road from Abigail's place. And we were going to try and check it out the other day, like yesterday, and there was a fucking private function on in there, and we're going, bullshit. Okay, whatever. We got there to be there at the same time, and there's a private function, so we'll do it another time. But yes, we'll definitely do it at some point. Maybe in a couple of weeks. I don't know. We'll see. Particularly if we get some, biting weather in a couple of weeks. It's well, that seems a perfect excuse to get in out of the biting weather and imbibe some warming whiskies. But
it's like the old cartoons of the Saint Bernard dogs that goes out and rescues people in the snow, and it's always got a tub of grog around its neck and a little barrel.
Yes, which they actually did not do, because apparently that would actually be really bad for someone who was suffering hypothermia, to give them brandy. Yeah, they always had the barrels that had XXX written on it in the cartoons. And apparently what they used to have, it was like soup. It was like chicken soup or something. Like it wasn't actually brandy or whiskey or anything, because that would apparently be quite a bad thing to give someone who was suffering hypothermia.
There's a whole explanation in regards to why that's a bad thing, but suffice to say, yes, it is a bad thing.
Yeah.
If somebody's suffering from hypothermia, the last thing in the world you want to give them is alcohol.
Unless you don't like them, then, give them alcohol.
Then you can just watch them die in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
And, I'm not
saying
that I would...
the wrong keg.
The wrong kegger, yeah.
I'm not saying that I would do that to Scott Morrison, but I am saying that if I took the wrong keg, it would be an accident.
Jesus, did you see that fucking picture he posted?
Oh my God. Yeah, there's two of them going around.
Oh, there's one where he's writing a letter, and it's supposed to be his letter of condolence to the Queen, and he's got a photo of her alone on his desk, but it's facing out, like facing towards where the photo's been taken, which is like 180 degrees from where you would have a photo on your desk. Why would you have a fucking photo of the fucking Queen on your fucking desk for a start? But then his wife's looking on over his shoulder in a very matronly manner, and it's just the weirdest fucking photo. It's so fucked up.
Well, you know that he can't feel grief unless his wife tells him that he has to.
Yeah. Oh my God, how much money of ours did he waste on an empathy counselor that did not give him any empathy?
Who's tied to the hills
he was actually just siphoning
Hillsong
money for
Church.
Hillsong. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. And considering that they're still funneling God knows how much fucking money into that ridiculous fucking school chaplaincy program.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, don't even get me started. We'll be here all night.
I had a good argument. Wasn't an argument, but there was actually, one time it was a school chaplain at a school in Rockhampton.
Yeah.
And at one of my, I found out through one of my children who was being bullied, found out that what he was doing was when a child was being bullied by another child, he'd get them two together and he'd make both of them say sorry to each other.
Oof.
So the victim was saying sorry to the person
the bully.
who and the school admin handed all the disciplinary responsibility over to him.
Oh wow!
They washed their hands clean of it. This was a public school.
No.
Do we remember a few years ago that kid Casey, I can't remember his surname, picking up that little bloody dweeb and fucking body slamming him to the ground?
Oh yeah, I actually do remember that, and I thought, good on you.
Oh yeah, no, fucking A. Oh yeah, no, that kid is fucking one of my heroes. But no, that sparked this whole conversation about bullying. And as somebody who was relentlessly fucking bullied throughout high school, I've got some fairly strong opinions about bullies, to say the least.
Yeah. You see, I went through a Christian Brothers college, and there was a lot of bullying, and it got quite violent, and a lot of it was incited by the brothers and some lay teachers, and because of my disabilities, I had a big target on my back as well.
Absolutely,
And when I was in year 10, where one was going, and I had by then, I didn't advertise. I had by then been training in taekwondo, and one of them just came in front of everyone, and so it was quite fascinating the way I handled. Instead of getting on into a full-on fight, I said, "We'll make an agreement. I'll let you hit me twice. Sorry, 3 times. I'll let you hit me 3 times, and I won't block you as long as it's above the waist. And I'll hit you once." So he hit me 3 times. Didn't really feel it because I was already going through getting used to being hit, and then I just lifted up a leg and I kicked him right across the center of the chest, and he landed about 3 to 5 meters away. He just didn't fly, and then bounced off the concrete. That would have hurt. And then from that time, no one would come after me.
Yeah.
There's only one person who would, and he'd be yelling it from a distance.
Yeah. No, it wasn't until I stood up for myself on the first day of year 11 that the relentless bullying stopped. And it's always the way, win, lose or draw. When you're getting bullied, you take them on, and even if you get your ass kicked, they'll usually leave you alone afterwards.
Like I taught my children self-defense, saying don't go starting fights. And one of my daughters up in Rocky, when she was in grade 2 Queensland level, there was a boy in grade 6, grade 7, top end of primary school, who tried to punch her, but you remember what I told her? She blocked him and hooked him right in the ear, and he started to bleed from the ear.
Wow. Annette has come in and said this live stream should be called "What's Scotty Done Now?"
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when that whole thing happened, it kind of sparked these discussions around bullying, and you've got all of these people that are trying to do the whole, maybe we should try and understand whereabouts the bully's coming from. Maybe we should practice further empathy towards the bully. And look, to a certain degree, I do sort of agree with that. Try and understand why a kid is bullying to try and stop them from doing it. But to say that they need more attention than the fucking victim, to me, is just fucking abhorrent. Is absolutely fucking abhorrent. And the schools themselves talk about ill-equipped to deal with bullying. My goddaughter, she was sexually assaulted while standing in line for the canteen. One of the school bullies thought that it would be a funny thing in front of his mates to walk up behind her while she was waiting in the line for the canteen and grope both of her breasts while she was standing there waiting. Now, I don't care where the fuck you're coming from. That's sexual assault. I don't give a shit about the age of the kid. That's fucking sexual assault. And
Oh yeah.
she responded and beat the fucking crap out of him, and it was absolutely fucking fantastic. But when that happened, the school's bullying policy was that both kids who were involved in the fight needed to be suspended. Not just the fucking attacker, but the attackee, the victim, would also get fucking suspended for defending themselves, which is just absolutely pathetic.
Same everywhere.
Yeah, and when that whole thing happened, the mother of my godchildren, she asked me to take it because the school sent her home with a letter saying, please come in a couple of days to discuss the possibility of your daughter being suspended. It wasn't so that we could tell you how long she's been suspended for, but to apparently discuss the possibility. So she was like, can you please go in there with her on this one? You taught her how to defend herself. She did what you taught her to do, and I don't like the principal there, basically. So could you please go in for me? And I said, sure. So I went in as my goddaughter's guardian, and we sat down with the principal of the school, who, like, kind of sat there from on top of his high horse, basically dictating what was going to happen. It wasn't a discussion; it was a dictatorship. And when I turned around to him and I basically said, okay, so she's going to get suspended. If that's going to be the way that it is, fine. When is the other kid going to be charged with sexual assault? And the principal kind of stopped dead in his tracks and said, what do you mean sexual assault? And I said, well, let me put it this way to you. If you walked up behind a random woman in the street for no other reason than your mates thought it'd be funny, and you grabbed a hold of both of her breasts and she were to knock you out, would you still be charged with sexual assault? Oh, this isn't the same thing. This isn't the same thing. I said, yes, it fucking is. It's absolutely the same thing. The only difference is that they're younger. But if you want to teach this kid that doing that is wrong, you need to, number one, point out to him that what he did was wrong, but number two, call it what it fucking is. Not a harmless joke, not a bad joke or, whatever. It is fucking sexual assault. And if you want to suspend her, and if you want to go down that path, no worries. We'll call the police after we leave here with her suspension letter. We'll go down to the police with the suspension letter showing that something actually happened, and we'll have him charged with sexual assault ourselves.
Yeah, I agree. I find that when I looked at the schools bullying programs of the different state departments, and I find that what they're doing, in my view, is that they're teaching children to be victims by not allowing them to stand up for themselves, to punish someone, to do what they're legally allowed to do in defending themselves. You are teaching a child to be a victim, and one of the most recent one is the last primary school my kids went to here, and it was a good school. It really was. My only issue was the teacher who designed up the anti-bullying program is that if one child was choking another child, the child who was being choked would be punished for not allowing the person to choke them. They are expected to stand there, allow themselves to be choked, and then wait until the person goes to the teacher, which is ridiculous.
Safa asked me in the chat, did he end up getting suspended? Safa, long story short, because there's a whole bunch more to that story. But suffice it to say, my goddaughter was not suspended. She was given a formal apology from the school. The boy was dragged in front of the school counselor, his parents, and a youth, what do they call them? Youth liaison for the police. Who basically sat there and said, what you did is sexual assault. If you do it again, you will be charged with sexual assault. Here is all of the reasons why what you did is wrong. And that was the end of it. But it was absolutely pathetic to me. But to get to your point there, Earth, I think what they're trying to teach kids is to talk their way out of a fight as opposed to fight their way out of a fight. And that's a good idea.
If you're being choked.
No, like I said,
if you've got hands around your throat, to punish the person to take their hands off your throat, you have the legal right to defend yourself.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that
Mm.
kids don't have a right to defend themselves. I'm saying what I think the schools are attempting to do. And it's a good ideal, but the problem is they're not teaching it correctly.
Mm.
They're literally punishing kids who are standing up for themselves.
Mm.
And nowadays they're also handing all of this problem off to the school chaplains, as opposed to the school counselors, as opposed to, somebody who's actually got any kind of fucking experience in the field.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories. Now, none of these are confirmed. They are all hearsay, just so that's out in the open. The school chaplains, for the most part, their reaction has always been, "What would Jesus do in this situation? Jesus would have turned the
Yes.
other cheek," type
Turn
thing.
the other cheek.
Yeah.
What I've seen is schools generally do their best to avoid anything they see as difficult. And I've seen repeated cases of this. If the kid who's bullying or assaulting someone or just being inappropriate, if their parent is like influential and
Mm.
noisy, they will try real hard to sweep it under the carpet
Yeah.
because they don't want to deal with this parent who has clout. And they will ignore their own anti-bullying policies if the kid who should be getting a bollocking has parents who will cause a scene.
I've actually
I've heard of-
experienced
yeah.
that. I've actually experienced that with one of mine up at the Rocky School. I realised he was connected somehow because his son was choking one of my daughters, and they wouldn't do anything against
Yeah.
him. So the way I made it is once I realised what was going on, I informed them that I was taking my daughter to the police. We're going to handle it legally.
Yeah.
And they asked why. I said, because the school's not doing anything. You're being neglectful of my children, so I'm going to take it through the court system instead.
Mm.
And once they realised I was going to do that, they started to intervene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Mm.
amazing how much they will actually do the moment that they find out that either the parent of the bully child or the parent of the bully themselves is actually going to create a fuss. It's amazing how much that work they are then willing to do. Safa says, say you're a physical bullied victim, can you charge the bullies for physical assault? You absolutely can, Safa. You
Yes.
absolutely can.
Yes.
The school may not want you to, but you can absolutely fucking do that. So it has. When I was doing when Kevin Rudd and Paul try that again, Shannon. Wow. When Kevin Rudd introduced the school laptop program, where all of the kids got those little red and blue laptops, I was employed by the company that was dedicated to repairing those laptops. So I had to go to a fair few schools to do laptop repairs on site and whatnot. And I had heard of instances at these various schools where a bullied kid, his parents had tried all of the apparent appropriate recourse by talking to the teachers and talking to the principal and all of that. And 9 times out of 10, it ended with the bullied kid getting even worse bullied. Or the bullying to increase against that kid.
Yeah.
So the parents, at the end of their wits' end, went to the police and said, this kid by this name has been doing this to my kid. I've been to the school and we've done this and we've done that, we've done the other, and nothing's really worked. And when the police have then contacted the school and said, okay, do you have a school child there by this name? Yes, we do. Well, we're getting reports of this and that and the other, and if we get any more reports, we're going to be coming down to have a chat with them. All of a sudden, the school was then in contact with the parents of the victim, in contact with the parents of the bully themselves, and then the school basically would turn around and say, if he bullies somebody else, he will be expelled. And we are really sorry for what your son or your daughter has had to put up with at the hands of this bully. We're really, really sorry. All of a sudden, they actually start doing proper fucking intervention. And Annette, you're completely right. She says that it's a structural problem. You're 100% correct. There are mandates handed out to teachers of schools that if they see 2 kids in a physical altercation, they are not allowed to physically intervene and separate those kids.
Well, because they could very easily, in their defense, they could very easily injure one of the kids, and it's very hard to know what's happened. But it's a real difficult. I don't know, much lighter one. I want to be light. It's something that happened to me. I still remember it when I was in primary school, because I went to a Catholic school, and our uniform was very noticeable. And one of the paths I walked home from had to go past a state school, and there was a bit of antipathy between the state schools and the Catholic schools. And I was walking past it by myself at knockoff time. And this guy, who I later came to know, but he was a real rough nut. I think we're in about year 6, so we're like pre-teens, and he just like accosted me like he's going to fucking punch me. And he's got like 3 or 4 of his mates with him, and I'm like, I'm not doing a goddamn thing because there's a whole bunch of you. And he's facing off at me, and I'm just standing there going, yeah, right, whatever. And he does the big thing and punches me in the face. And my big thing was to just sort of bang, and then just look at him. And I thought, because I'm not throwing a punch, because there's like 4 or 5 of them, and if I throw a punch, they'll all join in. And it put them on the back foot when this guy, who was a real rough nut, punched me in the face, and I kind of didn't react, and I was just like, yeah, and very much in my favor, an old fella who was walking past, who actually saw that, and I think he was reasonably impressed that I just took this punch to the head and just went, yeah, and he just stepped in and said, oh, you little bastards, fuck off.
It is.
I remember doing that more than once, getting punched in the face by someone and not reacting. And they really go, wait, I just punched him in the face. Why isn't he doing anything?
Yeah, and they just... Yeah, like if the kid can just kind of take it and just go, well, if that's all you got, it really is a bit of a scream of we got a. The Neil deGrasse Tyson meme comes to mind. We got a badass over here, But it is a fucking thing that when that whole thing happened, when Casey fucking shot into stardom, I said that the best thing for for a victim of bullying to do, win, lose or draw, is to stand up for themselves and to fight back. Now, I, of course, honestly hope that the victim never gets their ass kicked. I hope they absolutely kick the ass of all of their bullies, but let's be realistic. But I had a whole bunch of people tell me, no, that's wrong. No, you're not doing it right. No, you're not employing enough empathy. And to all of those people, all I got to say is fuck you and fuck that.
There are some people where the only thing they understand is violence.
Well,
sadly, like I find in most cases, if I've been in confrontation, come up to me, I use my mouth. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But in the minority cases, sometimes that person only understands violent reaction because they are so violent, and to put them down on the ground or just to push them back quite well is the only thing that they understand. Like I was walking through part of town here once, and I was 20, and I didn't even know him. He just came around, he just spun around and started hurling abuse at me and started throwing punches at me. And thanks to all the training, the reflexes kicked in, and I blocked everything, and I just whacked him once and it was down. But
nice.
I found a bit, and what I think I did was break his collarbone actually. But,
sorry to interject. Stella's just saying that they're heading off to bed. Got to drag their ass into work tomorrow after 2 weeks off.
Stella.
So, night, Stella.
I'm also going to bed. And also, we've been ragging on schools, which is broadly right. I do want to mention my lad, when he was in primary school and some little fucking psycho was monstering, like would follow him home and physically assault him and stuff. And they eventually, my daughter, who was she's a couple years older, was quite protective of him. She found out what was happening and tried to help me. And she told me, no, this guy's really bad. He's really scary. He was the same age as my son, but he's much bigger. And so I rocked up to the school to his teacher and said, oh, we need to talk. And she said, oh, I know what this is about. And I said, do you? I said, yeah. She said, because today, your lad, we're in class, we were doing the, what are you grateful for? What are you happy about? And he just got quite upset and said, I'm not happy about anything because he is following me home every day and hitting me and threatening me. And I went, fucking go you, actually standing up and say, I'm not putting up. And the teacher said, oh, so it worked out. And the teacher said, we got this kid's parents in. And between the lines, she's saying, his parents are fucking pieces of shit. and that's why the kid's a piece of shit. And she said, so we're just keeping this kid back for 15 minutes every day. He's in a detention at the end of school every day for 15 minutes, so your lad can walk home unharassed.
Yeah.
You actually did it. Good on you. So yeah. So every now and then they do the right thing.
Absolutely.
In regard to that school chaplain I was talking about, well, I'll tell you something. When we first met, having a discussion, because I was on the school's PNC at the time, and I met him when he introduced himself, Adam, and we outside having a discussion. Some of the chaplains had really, really screwed up ideas about life. Yeah, at the time, you had 2 teenage boys, and his rules were no masturbation allowed because it's
sorry.
I know. I laughed as we were running his face. I didn't mean to, but I did. Because it's the devil. No touching of yourself at all unless you're washing, and that's it. Yeah. And when I laughed, I just said, "Good luck with that," because he had some very, very strange things. He just went from worse to worse, and I thought, they put you in charge of these kids. You're so repressed.
Hang on, just Angry. Angry. Before you leave, sorry. Just trying to find. So the email address that I've got, it's blah at gmail.com. Is that the one?
Yeah. AngryAussie at gmail.com. Yeah.
Yep. With the dots.
Yes. Oh well, it's Gmail, so they're there for ease of reading, but Gmail doesn't need them. But yeah, just do that email address is publicly available. So it's.angry.aussie at gmail.com.
No worries at all. I'll send you that that email straight away. The subject line will be computer. Just make sure that you check your spam account.
Nice. Fun tip with Gmail. I think dot's not the only one, but there are certain characters you can put in email address when you give it to someone that doesn't matter to Gmail and it'll deliver to you, but it can tell you who's sending spam to your inbox because you do the special characters for special people, and then when it comes in, you'll see that as the to address, and so you'll know who's sending you spam. So, fun tip.
Handy.
Anyway, good night, fabulous people. I'm going to go to bed. I won't be on tomorrow night, probably on Tuesday night, though. So, take care, one and all. See you